Hello folks, Aaron here. You know, we don't want old man internet to come here and tear down our lovely channel. And I personally don't think you want him to either. If we're on the same page, you can volunteer to help us out. All we need you to do is go down to patreon.com/evacstation. For less than the cost of your local paper, you can support our show so you don't have to stop the presses. I hear that takes hours to start them back up again. So raise your flags and set sail over to patreon.com/evacstation today. And on to the show. Oh, brother. I got some serious Skywalker vibes in this one. Welcome to the almost incestuous episode of the After Credits Cast. We are Ryan Mitsuzaki.
Mitsuzaki! Reporting for duty.
And I am Aaron Waseskazama. And the intro song this week, I struggled to find something good, but I thought, you know what? Persona has high school shit going on. Let's go ahead and use a Persona song. So I got Wake Up, Get Out There from Persona 5. Best Persona game. Hands down. This week we're going to be talking about For Up on Poppy Hill. A lot of stuff to talk about there, but before we jump into that one, Ryan, what you been watching?
God damn it, how does this sneak up on me every fucking time?
Every week.
Every goddamn week. You know what?
I struggled to get two things. I had one from carryover, but I do have a new one I added. I'm like, yes, this is perfect. So I'm ready to roll.
Alright. Yes. So, haha. I have happened upon a YouTube series that I've been finding really, really interesting. It happened when I just put it on kind of randomly when I was eating something, and now I just kind of have it on the background every now and again when I'm just in my house or like cleaning or cooking or something like that. It's called Because Science. It's a part of Project Alpha and Geek and Sundry and all them guys. But it's Kyle Hill who essentially takes really cool-ass, geeky concepts from sci-fi and fantasy and all that stuff and breaks them down scientifically in a very enjoyable fashion. It's really cool. I'll send you the link. But it's he's got a lot of episodes up. They're all like 12 to 15 minutes max. And it's just something really cool to have in the background, especially if you're not even that scientifically minded like I am, because I'm really not.
It kind of reminds me of the channel I watch, which is the Film Theory and Game Theory channels, because they actually do very similar stuff. They have a new guy on who does something exceedingly similar, where he breaks down scientific concepts from video games. I think one of the ones he did recently had to do with, like, Mario being able to, like, jump as high as he did or something like that, or, like, the gravity of the Mario world. It's fucking weird.
So, Lord have mercy.
Well, the recent episode of Game Theory was like, fucking figure out the height of all the characters, their BMI scale, and which one's the healthiest. I just want to point out to everybody, Waluigi, number 1. He's the healthiest person in Mushroom Kingdom. Okay, so for my week, I'll keep the track on video games, why not? So, I haven't gotten a lot of game time in as much as I'd like to. I've been bogged down with all sorts of shit going on.
You and me both, sir.
But I have gotten Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit more progress going through. So it's been a while since I updated on the channel, so so Ryan might have heard some of this already, but, so, there's this big enemy in the game called a Deathbringer. Now, these things are huge. They shoot a bunch of, like, it's like, is it missiles, rockets, or is it just, like, a bunch of bullets? Really?
Yes.
So it shoots a lot of shit. It's basically Iron Man, but not nearly as effective.
It shoots horrifying projectiles at you.
So, I fought my first one not long ago. And I get into this little arena area where it's stationary, so it doesn't move around. I didn't know this going in, but it doesn't move around. And then along with him were like, I want to say maybe half a dozen to maybe 8 dudes total who were in the room, who were like kind of scouting you out to try to flush you out of hiding. And so I get in there, and I try to do my usual default thing of hide in the grass and then wait for an opening. But of course, the machine could see me, and so I went up behind a rock. But then the people who were sniping for me could see me, so I'm like, okay, I can't hide from both people. I need to do something. And so I thought to myself, how do I take out the big guy so I can get a good place to hide? I thought to myself, you know what? I fought big guys before in Dark Souls. What did I do there? I got up in their dick and I smashed him up good. So what did I do? I ran right up to the monster, out of range of all of his missiles and shit, because I'm right up in his junk, and I just started smashing at him.
Which is entirely not the way I did it, but god damn it if it was a viable strategy.
It worked like gangbusters. That thing went down, and then I used it as cover to get my health back up from running up to him in the first place, and then I fought everybody else like I normally would, and it was great. I don't think I'll be able to do it the second time, though, because I imagine the next one's going to be mobile, so that'll be tougher. Right now, I'm actually in the Grave Horde or something like that, and I'm traversing down into this, like, fucking base where these dudes are at, and I'm thinking we'll probably see another Deathbringer soon. But I did fight a bunch of dudes, and I'm learning about, what's her name? Aloy's potential mother, who is probably her mother. It's not really hidden very well, but whatever. I'm excited to see how that goes. It's been entertaining so far.
It's interesting.
I really want to get back into Zelda. I really do, because I just listened to a podcast that are talking about Zelda. But it's like, I want to finish one of these games before I get deep into a second one. So let's get Horizon done first, and then I'll move on.
Yeah, no. As much as I love her, I absolutely love Horizon, but it's definitely a straightforward game in terms of like its story. Once you're done with it, it'll be great. It'll be complete until Horizon 2. Duh. But and that's really it. So I would definitely knock it out, and then you can get lost in Wind Waker.
You mean?
Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. You're good. So Breath of the Wild's on my plate, along with the rest of Nier Automata, which I might get to first. I don't know.
Nier. No. Ooh.
And then there's Divinity Original Sin 2, which is gonna be on the back burner for a bit because I think I need to get the ones done that I know I'll get finished quicker.
That's fair. So Nier is a lot, and Breath of the Wild is a lot.
I already finished Story A though, and my goal is to at least get to Story E. That's as far as I intend to go for now. I know there's a bunch more, but I just want to get that far and see how it goes.
I'll let you know. There are 5 main endings. All of the other,
which is A through E, yeah.
Right. The other 26 endings are fun, and they're like you'll definitely happen upon them just by like crazy shit. But you only need to play the 5 endings, and you only really need to play through the game probably like 3.5 times, maybe something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Well, the good news is, if I remember right, from where I left off on B, I think I'm like most of the way through that story, so it shouldn't be long to get to C, which I hear is where the game really starts picking up.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can get to it soon. So it's like I said, time has not been beneficial lately. But the good news is we're ahead on schedule. So when we get through with our production for October, we might have some wiggle room in terms of time going into the holidays, which gives me lots of time to catch up on this shit. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so, you know what, that was fun. I got that off my chest a little bit. And now, it's time to talk about this week's movie.
Yes.
Can we call this the Autumn Assault? No? Okay, well, the SummerSlam this week is going to be talking about 2011's From Up on Poppy Hill, and the return of Goro Miyazaki into the director's chair. At the time of recording, this film has grossed $61,037,000 worldwide. The English dub has a couple noteworthy names, including Ron Howard, Alex Wolff, Emily Osment, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
What?
I know, right? Some damn good names there.
Okay.
While Goro's last film received no honorable awards, he turned things around with 6 wins this time around, including Best Animation Film from the awards of the Japanese Academy, Best Female Voice Performance in a Supporting Role from the Behind the VA Awards, Best Foreign Animation Trailer from the Golden Trailer Awards, and both Animation of the Year and Best Music from the Tokyo Anime Awards. That's some pretty good stuff. Nice turnaround.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
And as a little 2 bonus facts, they're both short. The 3 siblings, Riku, Yumi, and Sora, mean land, sea, and sky in Japanese.
Hey!
I thought that was a cute little one. I couldn't resist it. And then the flags that Yumi raises mean U and W in the international flag language. The 2 letters mean, I wish you a pleasant voyage.
Aww.
There's a lot of little tidbits to learn here. I kind of like it. I kind of want to learn flag language a little bit. But before we get too deep in anything else, Ryan, what are your initial thoughts coming out of this movie?
Oh, man. Okay. Initial thoughts. It was a really nice and well-paced slice of life that took a very sharp twist at a certain part in the movie that threw me all for a fucking loop and then managed to bring itself back.
Oh, if you thought this was a twist, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on the next one.
Oh man, no, like we'll get to the next one. I have feelings on the next one, but this one threw me for a goddamn loop.
But I think they built it up well enough. But we'll get in that in a minute. My initial thoughts, I think Goro stepped up in terms of quality on most fronts, and I think this is not nearly as interesting as what he put together in Earthsea. I think Earthsea has more themes I'm interested in, but this one definitely delivers what it's trying to do better. So take what you can get from it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like this was definitely a safer option for him, and I'm curious to hear if this is actually his second attempt, or just his second attempt under the Studio Ghibli banner.
I checked his IMDb page. I'll double check again real quick while we're talking. But if I recall correctly, this is his second attempt overall.
Then that's not bad, honestly. It's the animation quality was top notch. It was definitely classic Studio Ghibli animation style. I was definitely down for that. I thought it was well paced story wise, and he threw a melodramatic twist at me. But okay, we were able to ride it out.
So he only has 3 directing credits. It starts out with Earthsea, Poppy Hill, and his most recent thing in 2014 was Ranja the Robber's Daughter, a TV series.
Oh, okay.
So not a lot of experience, but definitely something worth looking at. Still, I'm looking to see where he goes from here. So that's cool. All right, so I got a synopsis for you, Ryan. Are you ready?
All right, let's get at him.
All right, here we go. The year was 1963. The town, Yokohama. Up on the hill sits the Kakariko village, where our protagonist, Yumi, lives with her family. I can't pronounce the word, so I'm going to make it up. Almost as if programmed up to routine, she gets up every morning, raises flags, feeds her family, goes to school, comes home, and does more chores, and then feeds the family again, and then sleeps. But her life gets turned upside down when a young man, Shun, pops a wheelie into her world. You see, their school has a big clubhouse called the Latin Quarter, where all the after-school clubs meet. The Philosopher's Club, the Radio Club, the Trivia Murder Club, the Seal Club, the Cub Club, and, of course, the Praise Satan Club. All of them. But it is at risk of being torn down because, of course, the Olympics are coming to Japan, and they gotta build this new state-of-the-art sports center somewhere. Haven't they looked at the statistics? The stadiums never make the money back. It took to build them, and they just rot for decades after use. Wake up, sheeple. Anyway, while the debate to keep the club arises, Yumi and Shun, who is on the side of preserving the building. Yumi meets Shun, who's on the side of preserve the building. I'm reading too fast, and I wrote this poorly. To keep it, Yumi suggests maybe clean up the place, because it kind of looks like a shithole. So the girls all help the boys clean up because we all know they never do it themselves. Way up to the stereotypes, men. Keep at it. As the events unfold, Yumi and Shun start to fall for one another. But a misunderstanding of a single picture causes them to think they may be brother and sister. Oh no! They accept this as fact, but ache because they had such a connection. You can see the I want a bone look in their face later on in the movie, while they still don't know the real truth. Eventually, Yumi's mom enters the story, and Deus Ex Machina's their love life by telling Yumi that Shun is adopted. After a quick round of Who's Your Daddy, the pair are called aboard a ship where an old friend of their respective fathers tells them the whole story. Because God forbid anyone else bothered to tell them. Once they're told, they aren't really related, and it all is a cruel joke by, I don't know, God I guess. They proceed to roll the credits. God damn it, we almost had a real conclusion here, and at least let them kiss or hold hands or something. They need to adopt a new way to end these films over at Ghibli. I'll make one of my own. They went home, and like typical high school lovers in America, they banged. She got pregnant in high school, and then things take a dark turn from there. The end.
That is absolutely not the end.
So, Ryan, how did you enjoy that movie?
Shit. You know, I really did. I really did like it. I had a good time with it. The brother and sister twist fucked me up. I was like, oh shit! It's something that I didn't expect to see, like, explored in Ghibli. So it just kind of threw me for a fucking loop when it happened.
That's fair.
Because I know about the prevalence of exploring this type of relationship in certain Japanese cultures, which is fine. It just came out of left field for me when watching Studio Ghibli. The one thing that irritated me was that Umi's dad didn't explain the situation to the people who ended up raising Shun. Like, that's a, like...
Yeah.
Like...
It's one of those...
Just tell them.
It's kind of like the pronoun game... It's kind of like the pronoun game you hear in other movies where they're like, they say he or she without actually explaining who they're talking to or referring to, meaning the other characters have to ask more information for the audience, where it would have just been faster for them to say the name of the person they're referring to. Kind of like that, except here it's like, oh, hey, here's a baby. Later, it's like, can I get some information? Is it your baby?
Yeah, and like, it's
baby?
just like...
Did you steal this baby?
This dude just showed up, and he had the baby registry showing that this was his kid, and then he left by, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, and it was kind of intentionally vague, like to the point where it was really like kind of banking on the melodrama caused by that. The one thing that I loved about the whole situation is that Goro actually takes a moment to like poke at how ridiculous the premise is, because as Shun is explaining the situation to Umi, he says it's like some cheap melodrama, and I was like, yes, it is.
I did appreciate that. I did appreciate that. But yeah, no, it was weird. The only time I've ever seen anything like this in any other media or any other like entertainment would have been Star Wars. That's the only thing I can think of that had this like weird brother sister twist. And there, they actually made out before they found out.
I mean,
and of course, they actually were brother and sister, where these two weren't. So, yeah. I don't see this very often. It's weird that it came up here of all places.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop. Aside from that, I really liked the premise. I loved the school setting. I loved them kind of slowly getting together and her coming out of her shell as she starts to fall for Shun. I really liked all of that, and he was the coolest dude. I want to give a shout out to what's his name? Shun's friend, who was like the really smart guy, the guy with the glasses,
yeah.
and he was like kind of pretty much orchestrating the whole restoration movement.
I don't remember his name, but I'm going to call him Ida because he's the only other guy with glasses I can think of in that class.
That dude
so, yeah.
was wingman of the year. I don't like he
Absolutely.
was pulling
Absolutely.
so many moves that were slick as hell, trying to get Shun a moment to talk to Umi when she first shows up at the clubhouse and is like, "Well, I'm gonna be off. Here, little sister, why don't I show you out so that you don't get caught by the philosopher and dragged into an hour conversation? Come on. Leave them be. Leave them alone. It's fine." It's just like, I found myself applauding this dude because he was spot on with his wingman skills.
Now I get that. My best man for the upcoming wedding, which next year, a reminder for everybody. He actually was kind of like a wingman back in like high school, college. I remember when he got married, he tried to kind of help matchmake me with one of the bridesmaids in the wedding. But she didn't seem all that interested in even talking to me much, so that didn't pan out very well. I appreciate the effort, of course, but she just seemed like, yeah, whatever. I'm here. You're obligated to be here. I'm obligated to be here. I'm gonna do something else. I'm like, okay, whatevs. I wasn't heartbroken because I didn't have any investment to start with, but yeah. I get it. Cool bros being wingmen are cool. I appreciate it. So Ryan, I got some discussion questions for you. All right, well, this is gonna hit the iron wall, strike the iron while it's hot here. So let's say you're a girl you were interested in has a chance of being related to you, Ryan. Sibling, cousin, whatever it might be. How quickly does any boner you had for her disappear? The minute you get this inkling.
Man. Wait. Okay, story time. So,
oh god! What Pandora's box did I just open?
Wow. Okay. So, my high school sweetheart. I knew her. Our families were really close because we both have very big extended families, and we all went to the same or neighboring churches for a long time and kind of spread out throughout the Chicagoland area. So when we met and we were talking for a while, there was a scare. It was disproven, but there was a scare in the initial months that she might have actually been like my third removed cousin, but she isn't. But she wasn't, and it wasn't really gross. But yeah, I can understand the difficulty because you start building these feelings for this person, especially if it's more than just a physical attraction. If you actually like talking to this person and hanging out with them and you build an actual chemistry, that can be hard to let go. Upon finding things out. So I was feeling for these two.
I would imagine. Man,
she was not my cousin. Let's just put that.
I thought I had a story for that, but yours is way better than anything I could have come up with.
She was not my cousin. Just let's confirm that right now. She was not my cousin.
Well, I'll do a quick snippet. So, my high school girlfriend at the time, I'm not trying to piggyback of you. Literally, this is the only time this came up. We discussed family history, and I brought up the fact that I'm part Native American. I'm not going to go into details, everybody, as to what tribe or anything like that. You'll have to Google it yourself, if it's out there. But she also said that her family had some Native American going on, and she made the comment about, wouldn't that be weird if we were related distantly like that? And that was just kind of it kind of hung on me for a minute there. I don't think anything came of it, but we both were just I don't know. What are you? Would that even come up as a thing? How distant, far back would this likely be if it even was a thing? Nothing ever happened, so there wasn't to worry about. And yeah, it was one of those weird, just what if moments that came up. But yeah, like I said, yours is way more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel if it's that super far removed. Like you're both 1/32 Cherokee, and fucking no, don't worry about it.
Well, but the other thing too is I was led to believe that it was also different tribes, so I was pretty sure we were good. But you know, all right. Next question for you, Ryan. So, I think we both can agree: American films and foreign films, Japanese, whatever, they tend to do things differently when it comes to romantic subplots.
Yeah,
would you agree? So let me ask you: if this film was an American production with the same basic setup, how do you think the relationship between our main characters would have played out, and would it be any different than what we see happen here?
It would have been so much, so trashier, but it would and that's what's killing me. It would have been handled so poorly, but at the same time, I feel like any romantic possibility would have been nipped in the bud instantly, and they'd be like, well, that's not gonna work. That really sucks, but that's not gonna work. And then you would have had all of this additional drama around, oh my god, my dad cheated on my mom and had this child out of wedlock, and now all of my ideal memories of my father are now tainted, and my mom isn't even here to help straighten it out. And meanwhile, there's this guy that I was really, really, really attracted to, and now he's my brother, and fucking, and it would have been a whole thing. But the idea of them being romantic would have never come up again.
Here's what I think might have happened. I'm going to borrow a cue from Friends here real quick. So, they find out that they're related. So, if this is an American production, let's assume that they're already trying to do, like, sex stuff. Because Americans, high schoolers, they do it. So, something happens before they're able to bone each other, basically. Where they make or he makes the discovery, we'll keep that in there, that they're possibly related. And he just jumps to that conclusion. And it freaks her out. And she just wants nothing to do with this anymore. He, being depressed by it, goes out and sleeps with another girl. A girl that maybe who's been kind of like, crush on him for a while. And he's just like, okay, well, I'll just put out for her because I'm so frustrated. This enters a love triangle, which is an American problem. I don't like it, but it comes up. And then when she finds out the truth, goes to him and finds out, oh, you're with another girl. I see. You go over me that quick, huh? And a whole another fucking thing would happen. And it's kind of just go fucking bonkers from there until the very end when they have like 3 weddings happen all at once just to kind of have like a weird comedy ending like that. It'd be weird.
I disagree with the idea that the love triangle is only an American problem.
No, but it comes up in a lot of American stuff more than other things.
It does come up in a lot of American stuff more than other things, but I would argue that, again, Americans and incest don't really do the thing. You don't really see that explored a lot in media outside of Game of Thrones.
But that's not really American, so I'm gonna let that slide. Right.
So again, because you had a moment in this movie where, they had just got the appeal for the chairman to come out and actually see the clubhouse, and they're riding back from Tokyo, and she's like, you know what, God damn it, I'm in love with you. I don't care if we're related, and I need to say this. And then he says, I feel the same way, and I'm like, wait, so you guys are acknowledging that you're possibly brother and sister, and you're just gonna say, fuck, that's weird, and that wouldn't come up in American culture, in American cinema, I don't think.
Well, I think that was when they were acknowledging their feelings, but they knew they couldn't do anything about it. I
don't know, that wasn't made clear. That wasn't made clear.
I like to have faith in the author and the creatives team that they were trying to convey that, but I'll agree it may not have been conveyed super thoroughly. So what do I got next here? Let's see. All right, we're gonna lighten things up a little bit here, Ryan. So, what after school clubs did you belong to, if any, and what one was your favorite?
Oh man, I was. Let's see here.
There's a lot of clubs in this movie for those who were paying attention.
Yes, there were a lot of clubs. Let's see here. I was in the video game club, obviously. I was in an extracurricular choral group. It was a barbershop ensemble called The Sound of Sweetness, which was boss. I really loved it. I was also probably surprising to a lot of you. I was also on the football and track team.
I think you mentioned that once before, but I don't remember when that was. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then a reminder. But I was on the football and track team for about 2.5 years in high school. That's pretty much the game. Oh wait, I was also in drama for the last year because I hadn't gotten to act in a very long time, and it was my senior year, and I said, fuck it, I really want to do it, so I made some time for it.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't get as many clubs, and looking back on it, I kind of wish I'd at least done the drama, because I think that would have been helpful for the ventures I'm going into now with this podcast and shit.
Yeah.
But I did do some things, though. I was in band for 3 of the 4 years of high school.
Nice.
I was in the percussion section, actually. Got to bang some drums and shit. That was fun. I was in an art club for a couple of years until the teacher left, and then I kind of didn't do it anymore because the teacher was gone. Yeah. But we did have one incident where she had us enter this, like, I guess it wasn't really a contest, but it was like a art show kind of thing, where we each submitted a piece based on a playing card. And so my buddy Josh and I went as a duo, and we made a weird, goofy sculpture for one of the Jokers. It was pretty fun.
Ooh, nice.
Let's see, what else did I do? I was in anime club as well, but that didn't last very long because, breakups and shit. Mm-hmm. And then in college, I didn't do much because I was working and wanted to do my own stuff. But I did do a video game club for about a year, the first year in my junior year. And I think the reason I stopped doing that was because it was inconvenient for me to bring my console every single time to go to it. And
yeah, that's the thing.
And the only reason I was bringing it is because I had the modded Smash Bros. On there that everyone wanted to play, and I'm like, this is cool, but, y'all can just come over to my place and I don't have to move all this shit. No one wanted to do that, so I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to bother bringing this every week, so I'm out. Yeah, those are the clubs I got. Like I said, wish I'd done more. In hindsight, it would have been a good idea, but, moving on from that, though, Ryan, speaking of clubs, would you have hung out at the Latin Quarter, and which club of theirs would you have joined?
I definitely would have hung out over there. Well, I would have hung out there after it had gotten cleaned the fuck up. Because it was pretty fucking grody before they got the girls to help them clean up.
Also, I might have been freaked out and thought it was like a drug house or something before they cleaned it up.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But
is there a heroin addict club in here somewhere?
I wouldn't be surprised. But honest to God, it was a lot of fun. It had a really cool energy about it. All of the club members were so goddamn passionate. I would definitely have been a part of that in some form or fashion.
Oh yeah, I think I probably would have done the paper because writer probably would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
If not that, I would have lived my childhood dream of being a paleontologist and joined the archaeology or paleontology club if they had the second one. It sounds like only had the archaeology, but if they had paleontology, I would have started that or been in that or something.
The archaeology club would have needed you, man. They only had 2 members.
I know, right? Gotta dust them bones.
Yep. I might have actually tried out the poetry club.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like how none of us want to join Ron Howard's philosophy club.
Oh my goodness.
That guy was hilarious, though. He was fun.
He was super good. Let's
see, what else we got here? Okay. Going on for the Latin Quarter. One student calls the Latin Quarter the quote-unquote flame of culture. What do you think this statement means, and why do you disagree or agree with this statement?
The flame of culture?
Yep.
Well, I definitely understand the overall point they were making in regards to the Latin Quarter being essentially a cultural landmark that's been there since time immemorial. When in regard to the flame of culture, though, I would say the flame is more the students that kind of carry on that passion and carry on that torch year on and year out, because the Latin Quarter really represents this prideful thing that's been passed down to them from the students of old. And there's a lot of school spirit and tradition in that house. So that's what I think they're referring to.
I can appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely think that's true. And I think I like the connection there about it being like a passionate flame that they kind of pass on, because it kind of harkens back to the Olympics that are coming there. You know?
That's also true. Good catch.
I like that. I didn't even think about that until you brought it up. So good combo there. Okay. Do you think it's financially responsible of society to build giant stadiums for the Olympics that cost cities fortunes and then go unused for years after the events? I have thoughts on this, obviously.
Oh, man.
Like, have you heard about some of the cities that have done the Olympics and they're just fucking broke now?
Honestly, I hadn't. I hadn't looked into it because generally I thought that the stadiums. Well, when I think about what happens, when I think about the cities that have hosted the Olympics, it makes sense because not all of them had just like big stadiums or like big sports teams that would use them after the event. So, yeah, that's pretty financially irresponsible if you're not going to have a long-term plan for it. But at the same time, I don't know how much revenue is brought into that city from tourism because it's the fucking Olympics.
True, but so I think an example of this, I can't use Brazil yet because it just happened fairly recently, but China, I know, they had the Olympics in Beijing, I believe, and from what my readings have shown, and it's maybe untrue now, it's been a few years since I looked this up, but from what I understand, the Olympic facilities they built didn't get used at all afterwards. They just kind of were left there to rot. And I'm like, you're wasting real estate. The money used to build it wasted a bunch of money, taxpayer money. And I get China's making money, but at the same time, though, that's a financial impact that other countries simply could not afford.
Other countries, absolutely. I mean, I think China's going to be just fine.
But there are smaller countries that have hosted. I mean, I'm looking at Brazil. I'm thinking, are they going to be able to bounce back after that? I'm very curious.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what Brazil's situation is. I know they're not quite on the level as China or Japan or America, but yeah, I'm not sure what to expect there.
But it's a huge cultural significance to host the greatest sporting event in the world. So
that's true.
I mean, when you're looking at it from a pure fiscal standpoint, no, it's probably not responsible for certain smaller countries to blow so much money on it. But when you look at the cultural kind of prestige and the essentially the landmark that it makes out of the city, out of that the place that they're holding it, I get why it's important.
That's fair. Like I said, my big question for this would just be, why don't we ever reuse the old stadiums? We know they're there. We know they can use them. We know they're top notch. Some of them are very recent. So why don't we just reuse some of them?
Yeah, like the idea that they don't reuse the stadiums afterwards boggles my fucking mind. It boggles my mind. Although it's possible that anybody who would want to rent them out or use them, it would cost the price would be so sky high because A, state-of-the-art, gigantic facilities. B, we hosted the fucking Olympics here, dude. You're going to have to come up with some cash, and maybe just nobody else can afford to rent
but
them.
I can't host my anime convention here?
Nah, B.
No. Alright, let's see what I got next here. Ryan, are you interested in learning more about signal flags?
Not me personally, but I've never been really a maritime enthusiast. That being said, I love how they tied it in to the main characters' backstories and how it's a point of pride and remembrance for both of them that they can kind of share. albeit it was almost something that they shared in a very not appropriate way. But I'm glad we were able to get that resolved.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind learning at least some of them, but I wouldn't want to, like, get encyclopedia knowledge of it. Like, I don't want to be, like, a master of signal flux. I just wanted the basics. I'm going to be like, yo, how are you? Where's the bathroom? And do you have any mermaids? The basics.
Yeah. Like if I had interest in being a sailor, then absolutely, but not really.
Let's see. Okay, here's another one. So this phrase was dropped in the movie as well. What do you make of the phrase, you can't move into the future by forgetting the past? I feel like this one's pretty straightforward, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely straightforward. It's almost like it's almost putting the central theme of the movie into a single sentence. It's almost the thesis statement. That's what I was trying to say. It's almost like the thesis statement of the movie. The idea that people want to always rush to the new thing and the new thing and the new thing, but by replacing and losing so much of what you've gained from the past, you stand to lose everything of value that you've learned from the past, and B, stand to lose the identity of what makes you you. It's kind of like the ship of Theseus, where you like replace every single thing on the ship after a while. Can you even really call it the same ship after a point? So I I think that's what they're getting at there.
Yep, I can agree to that. Okay, last two discussion questions here. Was the ending of the movie conclusive enough for you, or did you want a little more?
I found it conclusive, honestly, because like when everything was said and done, you had her raise the flag, and while she couldn't see it, she heard the tugboat and she smiled. And I was like, that's okay. I can it's subtle, but it's blatant enough that the meaning was carried through. All of the obstacles were taken care of. They saved the Latin Quarter house. They're actually not brother and sister. It's gonna be all good. And it actually fit with her idea that she was sending those flag messages to her father, and she thought that her father was sending Shun, thank you. Like that her father was sending Shun to her to make her happy. It actually fit. So I was very happy with me, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I would have preferred maybe a little acknowledgement that a relationship was occurring or had occurred, just so I can be like, okay, so they made it work. That's
yeah. No, I feel like the rest is you can definitely infer the rest of it, especially since the mom, since Ume's mom met with Shun's dad, is like, yo, we need to make sure they're okay, because apparently they've fallen for each other. Can we resolve that?
I'm just surprised, like I said, going back to our earlier point, I'm just surprised no one else knew. Like, I know that the dad didn't inform anybody 100%, but like, come on, guys. You guys should have figured this out a long time ago.
Yeah. That's really my only gripe with it. The part around the twist was so intentionally vague, just to drum up the drama. It existed solely to fuel drama. It was unnecessary.
Absolutely. Final question, Ryan. I think we've answered this a little bit, but let's get the final definitive yes or no here. Did Goro Miyazaki improve from Earthsea? Do you want to see more work from him? And what does he still need to improve on, you think? I would say, if I had to make a suggestion for an improvement, I think he did improve quite a bit. I'll start there. But as a suggestion for an improvement, I do think he needs to tackle something a bit meatier. I think definitely scaling back the scope of his picture to this, something more manageable, was a good decision. But I'd love to see his creative work on something with a bit more meat to it, just so I can see what it really looks like when he's being challenged but not being like thrown into the deep end first go.
I can agree with that. I loved the serious bits that he tried to tackle with Earthsea. I love that he was exploring some of those concepts. I definitely think that wasn't the right work for him to try and start out on, and I completely agree that him scaling back and doing something simpler was a great call. It was a great call. I think he took a much simpler concept, a much safer concept, and wanted to knock it out of the park. I would be interested in seeing him tackling another meteor concept, another meteor, and explore a little bit more of those themes that he was trying to go into in Earthsea. My hesitance in saying whether he's improved mostly comes from the stark differences between Earthsea and From Up on Poppy Hill, because it's almost like apples and oranges. It's like, did he grow a better, or like, is the apple he grew better than the orange he grew? It's just like, fucking, how do you even? But no, I can tell he's improved in his storytelling, and in his decision making of tackling making a smaller plate for himself. And I definitely like to see him challenge himself in the future. I'd be interested in seeing where he goes with it.
Absolutely. And I wanted to add to it, too, that, and now I think I've lost the words already. Moving on. No, it's one of those things, like, I thought about it when you were saying something, then I got lost in what you were saying, and I'm like, okay, I need to say something. What was I going to say? Fuck. I don't know. What I will say is it's time for a conspiracy corner. Cue the music. Alright, Ryan, did you catch this week's conspiracy corner?
I missed it, man. I was too busy thinking about whether or not they were brother and sister. I completely missed it.
That's absolutely fair. The conspiracy this week, though, is a very simple one that we've seen before. The boat that they go on at the end of the movie has the Ghibli logo on it. That Ghibli company, whatever's making these engines and planes and boats and shit, they're everywhere.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I think I've got one more Ghibli in the near future. It won't be the next episode, but will it be the last one? It might be the last one. I don't remember. Shit, I don't know. But we got another Ghibli reference coming up here very soon, so we'll see very soon.
Cool. Can't wait.
With that, I got a quick trivia segment for you, Ryan. Are you ready for
Let's
the trivia?
do it.
Alright, this trivia is going to be quick and simple. It is some more tropes for you, because we always love doing tropes. So I have 3 here for you. Let's start with the first one, Ryan. What are hot-blooded sideburns?
Hot-blooded sideburns?
Hot-blooded sideburns.
Alright. I'm going to say it is in reference to the plethora of characters in anime whom are like these, like the manly men that are just like super like energetic and kind of in your face and super machismo. They always seem to have fucking sideburns and possibly a pompadour, but just like the crazy, like the so everything to accentuate how manly they are and macho and shit. I'll go with that.
I would say you're right on the bubble. What it says here on TV tropes, hot-bloodedness is not reserved for just people. It can be applied to many things. Hair, for example. Large sideburns, mutton chops, or earlocks are variations of the badass beard, giving the character an especially grizzled appearance. Basically, it's referring to specifically like just very big, bushy sideburns.
All right.
So, like I said, you're on the bubble. I think you went a little far with it, but you did fine.
I tried so hard.
And got so far. Okay, I got another one here for you, Ryan, and I think you'll get this one, because I think this is one that's been in every anime I've ever seen. What is the corner of woe?
The corner of woe?
The corner of woe.
What?
I should probably elaborate here. Woe is not spelled like Keanu Reeves' woe. It is W-O-E.
Oh, okay.
Glad I sorted that one out, because I feel like that was what was throwing you off.
I do. It was throwing me off. Thank you kindly. Well, in a lot of anime that I've seen, when something embarrassing or like sad and overreacting happens to a character, it'll show them like off frame, like in a corner, like usually grayed out and facing away from the camera with like sad lines drawn over them as they're like contemplating their failure.
You are basically spot on. I don't think there's any way you could better explain that one.
Yay!
Good work. Target acquired. Alright, this next one I think you might get too. It's not quite as big as that one, but it's a notable one. What is a blush sticker?
What?
The trope here is the blush sticker.
The blush sticker?
Mm-hmm. I think any hint I could give you would give it away, so I'm gonna just let that sink in.
I mean, okay. So, the only thing I can think of is when when a character is talking about their crush or something that something related to their crush, it would sometimes cut to this own separate screen where it would just be a sticker of the person's face blushing while they said like various cute things about it, and like various cute ideas would pop out of their head.
Okay.
Sure.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you the link so you can see the picture while I'm reading this one.
Okay.
I think a visual helps. In anime, when a cheerful child is being cute, they'll often have what appears to be blush on their cheeks, except that instead of being drawn in a circular gradient, like you might have expected, the blush appears as a flat horizontal oval with little or no shading, almost as though they were put there like a sticker on their cheek. Sometimes the blush even goes past the edges of the cheek and sits half on the cheek and half in the air.
Okay.
So it's a visual thing. Nothing too deep.
I feel like I keep digging like super far into these trying to get it. And sometimes they're just, it's just, when they blush and it looks like there's no shading on it. That's it.
Yeah. So sometimes I throw you off with a complicated one. Sometimes I make it so simple it's just stupid.
I can't, like one of those can't see the forest for the trees type nonsense.
More or less. So that's our trivia this week, and I look forward to next week's trivia, Ryan, because I picked some doozies of questions for you. Before we get to that, though, we have to close out the show with our final thoughts, where we rank the movie between platinum through shit, with all the colors and medals in between. Basically, we discuss where a movie ranks, and if you want to read the details as to what all our rankings mean, there's a link in the description down below that explains all of that in great detail. We hope you check it out, because it's helpful. And while you're there, also check out our other links, like to Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all the other cool stuff. Even our email. Ryan, what's that email?
That email is evacstation@gmail.com.
He said it, everybody. Go there. He said it right there. Go to it. Ryan, where would you rank this movie?
I would give this movie a good bronze. I think it's very solidly done. I think the story's very safe. It's well executed, and even though it has some melodrama in it, it's self-aware of the melodrama, which was a nice touch. I don't think it's a must-see, but I definitely enjoyed watching it. So yeah, I'd give it a solid bronze.
So I do find it interesting that we both agree that it does seem to step up in certain areas from Earthsea in terms of its quality. Yet I'm going to agree that it's also a bronze, which is lower than where I ranked Earthsea. And it's not that this movie is bad by any means. I just think that it just kind of comes off as a little bit generic compared to Earthsea.
Yeah.
I think Earthsea was trying to do something really different and interesting, and I really liked what it was trying to go for, even if it didn't land on stick the landing.
Yeah.
Here, Here, it sticks to landing, but it wasn't anywhere near as ambitious. But not that it's bad, just that it's not nearly as ambitious.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree. And it's really interesting that the idea of innovation really keeps coming up so prevalently throughout the Studio Ghibli filmography. Like, because every time we watch it, like, for the most part, every movie that we've seen, it's either taken a lot of chances animation-wise, or it's done something really, really interesting story-wise. And it's always pushing the envelope in one or both of those ideas. And I feel like this one was just really safe. Makes sense because it's his second work, and he executed it well, but it was very safe.
Absolutely. You can definitely, do something well, but if it's something that isn't quite as ambitious as other attempts that have failed miserably, it's not going to look nearly as impressive. It's better to fail impressively than to not try at all.
Right.
Which I know sounds stupid, but it is. It's a true fact.
It's a life lesson that I am still wrestling with. So I understand.
So if you guys out there are failures, don't forget. If you fail spectacularly, you'll learn from it. You'll get better from it. You'll grow from it. If you aren't trying at all, fuck off. We don't care. That might be a little harsh, but I need to stick it to them, Ryan. I need to teach these kids a lesson.
Sure, I'm not taking this personally at all, Aaron. Thanks.
That wasn't shot at you. I'm not going after you. If you like this show, please make sure you rate and review this show on your platform of choice, because all those help us get more visible to other podcast listeners out there, which would be great to get more people listening and more people participating with our various social media stuff, like Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr, or our email, which, Ryan, I forget already. What was that again?
It's, Robbie is the only one who's listening at gmail.com. I mean, it's, evacstation at gmail.com.
We love you, Robbie. We know you're out
so
there.
Cool!
We'll be back soon. We're almost to the Halloween stuff. Actually, wait, this is coming out after Halloween, so he's been on already. He's been back recently.
Time's the ugly astro. Yep.
So yeah, follow us and all that stuff, and also don't forget Patreon is the best place you can help us out at. For only $1 a month, you can help keep this show going. It would be great to get this show some extra income to afford new equipment and all sorts of other cool shit, and you guys can help out with that. Next week, Ryan, we're tackling the Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Yeah, we are, and I'm very excited to talk about that, honestly. I'm really excited.
I'm glad you are, too, because I have some good thoughts about it. I think we're going to have a good time with that.
Yes, I do, too. I do, too. You'll have to listen next week to hear them, guys.
Absolutely. And until then, we'll see you after the credits.
Bye.